Dun, 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 dun. Okay. I feel like it's time. I feel like it's definitely time. Oh, wait. I think I got this. Okay. I think. Oh, that was something. Hold on, guys. Aha! I misclicked again. Alright. So. Hey. Good debut so far. I've literally just started. Because. 3, 2, 1. Huzzah! Wait. Do I look? Wait. Oh my god, I don't have my model, like... There we go. Now I can actually see what I'm looking like. Oh, it feels good. Feels good to finally move. Babylon, how you doing? Do I look angry? Do I look mad? Okay, I think that's better. I believe that's better. I feel like this is a lot better than me looking very angry. Good on my lunch break. How's your lunch? What are you eating for lunch? And can I have it? Your arms move like limp noodles. They don't move at all. Like, my arms stay still because it's only the head that's being rigged. Maybe like, you know, the body. But broski, how you doing? Oh yeah, do you know what's even better? My necklace also has physics. And my cape. Oh, capelet. My shoulder cape. Like, however you want to call it. I'm so happy. I finally have physics. I'm no longer stiff. I am flaccid as fuck. Woo! Do you know what else I can do? I can lower my eyebrows. Hey, come here often. This is a long time coming. If you didn't think that was bad, I can also cry. I'm crying right now. Yeah, I'm crying right now. I'm just so happy. I'm so happy I finally get to be like everyone else that I know. Good cry. Wow. You know what? Fuck you. Also, now you guys will be able to see how much I actually move. You guys will actually be able to see now how much I like move my neck, because every time I do that, it's because I'm cracking my neck every single time. Yeah, the blush is so cute. The blush is cute. What, me crying? Oh wait, actually no, the blush. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I understand. Are you talking about this blush? The blush that's on my face? The blush underneath my eyebrows? That's just natural. I can't get rid of that. You click your neck? Yes, I do. Oh, you take it forever. Yeah. Also, do you guys like my eyes? Because you guys can actually see my eyes now. Hold on, let me have a... I think this is the furthest I can zoom. Well, I could just make the screen bigger. Hold on. Ah! Wrong one! Okay. Let's just be normal. Click that. Zoom out. Oh god. Can you see my eyes? Look at them! Oh, wait, hold on. Ah! Where have I gone? I'm down here. Normally I was able to blink, but For some reason, it won't let me blink. Ah, it's because I was wearing my glasses. Do you have any phone games? we. Hold on, you guys haven't seen. Have you guys actually seen the entire fit? There you go. Now you guys can see the physics of the whole fit. Even my cape has fit. Like for days. Listen, right, we don't even. I've come up with an idea that you can't even tell when my legs start. I can guess. No, you can't. You can't guess. Oh, I just realized you can see my mouse. Wee. Like, I think really, my waist starts around here, where my mouse is. Yeah, I was about to say, because my hand must be on my hip. Because look how... Wait, I must be thick. Hold on. Can we just talk about it? I must have curves. Do I have a dump truck? Because think about where my hand is, right? Unless I have multiple layers around my waist. Do you think my belts take up that much space? I'm like a Bishonen. I'm like a Bishonen character. I'm a Bishonen. You know what? I think we should get glasses for a model. Maybe tie my hair back a little bit. Get that as like an alternative. Ooh, maybe I can get art for that and then get it done. Legs for days. Yeah. I'm literally all legs. I'm like Crony. Oh my god, she's blue. I'm blue. Oh my goodness. Nope, just straight leggage. Yeah. I'm 6 feet, but like my body. I'm like 6 feet. I'm 6 feet tall, but my legs are like my legs take up like 3/4 of that. Nothing wrong with legs for days. Listen, did you see I got a small torso? Back in the day, I removed the lower half of my torso. So I'm literally just chest with no abs. I'm just all thighs. I have just the longest thighs in existence. Being like 3 foot worth of thighs. So, by the way, this is my law. So, by the way, everything is in chapters to make it easier for when I write, well, when I get a manga based on my law. Chapter 1. Before we discuss the boss of the Nightmare Syndicate, we must examine his origins. The planet Zarn, a world filled to the brim with magic, where it was rare to see someone who couldn't cast a spell. Even the war-born barbarians could cast spells through their ancestry. On Zarn, one king governed the world and its laws. His name is King Zimmerquo. The king was unrivaled in raw strength and magic. He wielded judgment like a blade, but bottomless kindness to his citizens. Or so they thought. Now we're on Nifos' beginnings, chapter 2. By the way, it's very short, by the way. Well, some parts are very short. Nifos wasn't born to a house, nor to a great cause. He was simply born to the downtrodden streets. Yes, I was born on the streets, okay? Sue me. He lived on bread and water to survive. I did. Never knowing when death would come and grasp him in her cold embrace. I thought it looked pretty cool. I did too. Filing a class action lawsuit right now, but no! Wow! Waturia, how could you? How could you do this to me? You begrudger. One day, the king rode into town with the cavalry. Their armor to their weapons to even their horses were draped in gold. They seemed to be searching around until they spotted little Nifos stealing from a vendor to feed his empty belly. Frozen. You're made for the streets. Oi! 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 Rude! That's... Hold on. That's rude. Take that back. Take that back. I was made in the street. I was made in the land of poverty. You don't know me. I know me. Where was I? Frozen. He thought he was going to be imprisoned or executed, but the king waved his hand as if to pardon his crimes. That boy comes with us. Sorry. me and my broski, me and Shadow Fox, he knows who this is, who Zimmerquote is. He knows him as a character because he's actually inspired from one of my D&D settings. No, one of my D&D campaigns, sorry. So he knows how much of an asshole he is. That boy comes with us, not as a convict, but as a future comrade. The king spoke with his authority, and his soldiers followed the order. One of them picked the boy up and placed Nithos on his lap before galloping back to the kingdom, which would become Nithos' new home. Dun dun dun! Chapter 3. A few years have passed since Nithos entered the king's kingdom. He met other orphans living similar lives to his own. Some were living in worse conditions than his own. Nithos was always kind to those around him, even those who didn't treat him as nicely as he did. But that didn't faze him, as the only thing on his mind was becoming a knight for the king, to ride in golden armor and save people from tyranny. His lovely little fairy tale. Understatement. Yeah. Definitely an understatement. 100% understatement. By the age of 10, the orphans were made to study everything from history to science to mathematics. Well, I should put... Hold on, let me change this a little bit. Arcane science. You'll understand later. Everything from history to arcane science, to mathematics, to even languages of all types, new and ancient. By the age of 11, they were made to study the arcane. Do you know what? I'm gonna take out this whole bit. Okay, because I realized what I did. I realized what I did wrong. Okay, I know what I did wrong. History to mathematics, to even the languages of blah 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 blah. Okay, they were made to study the arcane, though Nithos had no aptitude in this department. He struggled reading glyphs, understanding magic words, and he was even worse at casting magic entirely. He was mocked by his tutors and most of his classmates. He tried not to let it get. By the age of 12, the tutors added martial combat to the list. Nithos wasn't the best fighter, slightly above average. He trained using the longsword, but he could never master the footwork. All the orphans were at the age of 15. Once all the orphans were at the age of 15. Sorry to my dyslexic ass, okay? I'm sorry that I'm dyslexic. They were ready for the king's assignment. Damn, bully since childhood checks out. Why, you saying that because I look emo? Is that what you're gonna say? Why? Go on. Say something. Say something. Now get ready to be bullied in. No. Why me? Why me? Why in adulthood, bro? An assessment of whether they have what it takes to become a knight. Every person was gathered in the room, smiling with glee to hear they have passed the assessment and were able, were able to help the very king that saved them. The king breathed in and spoke loudly. So that's why he's so bullyable. Oi! I have great news for you all. You have trained and studied ferociously. I couldn't even read my own writing at first. To get to this day, I am happy to say you will all pass the assessment. Before any of the orphans could celebrate, the act that would change everything in the room occurred. The king's eyes became as cold as the harshest winter. The king spoke once more. Kill them all. With that order, the Golden Knights that were the orphans' very own tutors turned their blade on the group of teenagers without hesitation, almost in a blink of an eye. The once white room became stained red from the blood of his fellow students. Nithos was the last one to be sent to the blade before he could even scream. As he died, he faintly heard the king talking to his soldiers around him. I think one of the gods will find this appealing to come and take over one of the body and take one of the bodies as their own. Should have been left on the streets. I think he would have fared better. But you know what? The streets made him who he is. A fucking naive little bitch. Especially in this story. You guys are gonna see when I told everyone that Nithos is like, well, I am one of the biggest crash outs in this story. I am the biggest crash out in this story. And where I become the crash out, you will all see. Nithos couldn't keep his eyes open any longer. Oh wait, sorry. I desire victory over all things. Nithos couldn't keep his eyes open any longer as they slowly closed. To the mysterious lady! Wee wee wee! Chapter 4. Dyslexic bitch. Shut up. Shut up. The sun sat at the apex of the sky, surrounded by deep blue with no cloud in sight. The wind blew softly. The birds chirped happily. Nithos grumbled quietly. Are you awake? Hey, are you awake? Hello? A woman's voice could be heard faintly, as if she were miles away. Nithos felt a poke at his face. As he opened his eyes, he saw her. A woman dressed in a traveling cloak. Her skin was pale white, eyes that looked like rubies. Her long red hair with streaks of white flowed in the wind gently. She was tall. She was tall and quite slender. But it made sense, since she looked like an elf. Maybe a high elf. Nithos didn't think to ask. Suddenly, his eyes widened as the sight of from mere moments ago flooded back. He first checked his body for wounds, but there were no wounds to be found. Second, he looked around to see if he was in the kingdom, but he was not in a kingdom, but in a simple grassland. Where am I? He softly asked himself aloud. He softly asked himself out loud. In the middle of a field, the woman answered back. I love how sassy she is. I also hate her. You'll find out later. Nithos' brow raised. Nithos' brow raised to the obvious answer, but he couldn't answer. He couldn't answer why he was here, or how he was still alive. Boy, you seem to have a good aptitude for magic. Can you cast spells? The woman spoke calmly. Nithos shook his head in response. No, I have never cast a single spell. Never had the manner nor the talent. The pale lady smirked. So, you are a magic virgin? Yes, that is a dialogue that I put in. Because this actually happened. I swear that's what she said. She cackled as if what she said was hilarious. Yes, I can't cast a spell. I can't cast light. I can't cast fire, ice, water, wind, or earth. I am a failure in every single regard. I am only half decent at swordplay, and that's about it. Nithos began to shout, which startled the birds. The mysterious woman stopped smirking and squinted her eyes. Prove it. Prove it to me right now, and I will drop the subject entirely. This went back and forth for almost 5 minutes until Nithos gave in. Fine. Jeez, you don't even know me, and you are making me do things I know I can't do. By the gods, you are annoying. Nithos held his hand out and began chanting an incantation. It was strange. The spell was unknown to him, but very familiar at the same time. As the spell was almost ready to activate, black jagged lines crawled down his fingers to his hand and stopped by where his wrist began. The markings took the appearance of inky black lichen burns. Which, if you don't know what lichen burns are, they are basically what happens when is it lightning? Yeah, when lightning comes down from the sky and hits the surface of like probably like concrete or something, like concrete for instance, and you'll see all those like spread out like marks. You also see it on people when they survive lightning strikes. Also, if you're gonna look up lich burns on people, prepare if you're squeamish, because they actually are pretty dirty. I know how to say this. Nervous immortue. As Nifo spoke these words into existence, a skeleton in a maid's dress appeared as if from nowhere. The skeleton maid bows as if to show him respect. The mysterious lady clapped in approval. Aha! So you are a necromancer, are you? You have a lot of talent for someone who was whining about not being able to cast a spell. Not able to cast spells. Ow, I stood on my toes. The pale lady mocked him. Nifos was dumbfounded. He didn't understand how. He told the truth. He couldn't cast spells, but now the proof he can is in front of him as a skeleton maid. If you wish, I can train you how to nurture this talent of yours. But what you wish to do with this knowledge, I teach you will be up to you and you alone. The mysterious woman chimed in once again, but with a colder tone than a moment ago. This woman, whoever she is, knew what it took to get power, and Nifos knew he had no other option but to accept. But the only thought that lingered in his mind was just a single word. Revenge. He spoke his thoughts aloud. Revenge? The pale lady asked. Yes, I want to get revenge for me and those this cruel world stomped underfoot, using their bodies to climb higher. No more! And if this world chooses to be my enemy, then I will show this world no mercy. Okay, guys, don't get cut on my edge, okay? I'm sorry. This was a cringy moment of my life. I'm sorry, guys. I was going through my revenge arc, okay? This was my revenge era. This was just vengeance. I was on my Sasuke, okay? I needed a Naruto, and I didn't have a Naruto. I needed a Naruto to my Sasuke. Remember it so we can bully about it later. No, leave my dynamic speeches alone. Nifos confirmed his newfound belief. He thought the woman would be disgusted, but she simply smiled. If that is what you want, let that be your goal. Let it guide you. The ends justify the means. That is the rule of all things. With that, Nifos began training for years under the tutelage of a woman he never knew the name of. To him, it felt like it never mattered. To her, she never brought her name up. During this time, he learned new spells. The spell Immortue Spectacular. I'm going to pretend I said that right. I didn't actually, check. To summon an undead scout, which he found out isn't good for combat. He mastered a spell he uses at will, Lingua Mortua, a spell that lets him speak to the dead, speak with souls of the dead, just to hear stories of the past. But his proudest achievement, I can definitely read my own text, is that he was able to stop himself from aging completely. With the side effect of turning his skin grey, he managed to place his cells in the state of undeath. Yes, that's why I look like I'm dying. That's why I look like I'm constantly dead. People say, hey, he's grey, so he must be dead. He must be a walking corpse. No, I'm not a lich. I'm just a necromancer. I'm very much alive. I am actually a human, okay? Can we just make that clear? I am not dead. Oh, I thought you were undead. A lot of people think I'm undead. Nifos was preparing a new spell, one he was confident he could pull off. He stated he would get his revenge on the day of his 18th birthday. But first, he had to prepare for it. To the invasion! Chapter 5. The invasion. Months before his plan was ready, Nifos made his way to multiple graveyards and cemeteries, and not even the graves of pets were safe. Show me everything. I will show you everything. Don't worry. Show me the goods. Pulls out gun. Show me the goods. Turns around, shakes ass. He only knew where these dead creatures were due to some sort of feeling. But that feeling gave him the exact location of the remains of the living. Wait, what? Gave him the exact location of the remain of the living. I don't think I meant to put living. I don't think I meant to put living. I was supposed to put remains of the dead. Why? Why do I suck at typing? But that feeling gave him the exact location of the remains of the dead. And how many there were. Have I corrected that one? Must not have saved. Far and wide he ventured to fill his burlap sacks with bones of men, women, and children. His mind knew how horrible using the bones of someone's family, friends, or even lovers were. Lovers was. I swear it's were. You know what? We're going to change that to were because it just sounds better. Lovers were. Don't say was. It's going to say was. Oh my god. Okay, fine. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care anymore. Family, friends, and even lovers was. But when he starts to feel guilty, he recalls what his teacher, the mysterious woman, said so many years ago. If that is what you want, let that be your goal. Let it guide you. The ends justify the means. That is the rule of all things. The ends justify the means. Thus, why should he feel guilty about this sudden act of evil? The answer is, he shouldn't. And so he didn't. Every time the sack was filled, he would empty it a mile away from the kingdom's outer wall. The fated day arrived. Nifos' 18th birthday. The sky was cloudy, with no rain in sight. Nifos stood on the silent hill with his teacher. She cleared her throat. Is everyone ready? Because this is where the big shit happens about my law. This is practically what makes me who I am. Ready? Bet. The fated day arrived. Nifos' 18th birthday. The sky was cloudy, but with no rain in sight. Nifos stood on the silent hill with his teacher. She cleared her throat. Are you ready? She asked very calmly, but Nifos didn't have to look at her to know she was smiling. Yes, I am. Nifos responded coldly. Are you going to die? People are going to die today. Are you fine with that? Yep. Even ones you deem guilty. Are you fine with that? Yep. Even the innocent will lose their lives today. Are you fine with that? Yep. Nifos gave her a chilling glare. I threw away my morals a long time ago. I shall become the monster this world needs, and this twisted revenge will finally end. Nifos' rage began to boil. The end. The ending. His ending. So close. He lowered his brow and gritted his teeth. He lifted his hand with no hesitation. I will never be a hero clad in gold and praised by the people. So, I shall become the villain. Thank you for the follow. Hey, I'm sorry I messed up the time zones. Thought stream was an hour later. Don't worry, it's completely fine. It's completely fine. And also, I'm very sorry if I butchered your name. Buy some Nifos today. Perfect breakfast food. Shut up. Shut up, wah. Hold on. Shut up, wah, this instant. I will bite your egg. Alright. Where was I? I will never be a hero clad in gold and praised by the people, so I shall become the villain, draped in rage and hated by the people. Bring them death.
Show the goods.
Which goods do you want? What goods do you want? Tell me. Tell me what you want. Celeste? Bring them death in my place. Immortal Legionis. The pile of bones began to twist and morph as they took the form of an alabaster tidal wave. Nifos' undead army rose from the ground, but stood idle as they awaited his command. The mysterious woman leaned into Nifos' vision with a smile, But Nifos ignored her. He had to remain focused to handle this amount of reanimated bones. All 475,610. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't see the quotation marks. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. I fucking wrote this as well. Anyways, all 475,610 kill on sight. Nifo screamed his order. The idle skeletons began flooding towards the kingdom walls and breaching through in mass. Any skeleton that killed anyone, be it men, women, children, or animal, would rise and join his undead horde. Nifos could hear the clashing of steel and the howls of the innocent for days on end, as they fell prey to the undead wave. For 3 days, Nifos's army drove itself deeper and deeper into the heart of the city. The necromancer and the mysterious woman began to walk into the kingdom and gaze upon the damage Nifos had done. Blood decorated the walls of the houses, and stray weapons and scraps of armor littered the ground. Suddenly, the sky darkened. It was still morning. Upon closer inspection, and to Nifos's absolute horror, what darkened the skies was not a cloud, but a hail of arrows. The arrows dive-bombed him, impaling his body and filling him like a pincushion. Nifos lay there on the ground motionless, somehow close to death. Nifos, you'll never die. The mysterious woman spoke softly. So stand up. Nifos never felt as much pain in his whole life. Impaled by more arrows than he thinks. The pain came from everywhere at once, but he forcefully stood up. Bones cracked, arrows snapped, a low grunt left his mouth. With only one eye, he looked at her in fear. Fear he could not grasp. Fear he knew he couldn't escape from. The mysterious woman smiled with glee. A smile that rose from ear to ear. Why am I not dead? Is that what you are thinking? She smirked, because she knew the answer. Yes, he was thinking that. She continued. You won't die. You will never die. You will live as long as I want, as long as I please. My name is... But I do understand that it is hard on mortal ears. So you may call me the Veiled One. As much as I like this one, which one is it? Where is it? There it is. I like some of these, but ooh. Okay, there we go. A piece of my hair wasn't on the screen, and I just realized that it was not on the screen at all. An outer god, the very concept of death. You gave me shape and form, but worry not. I gave you my spells, didn't I? Nifos's world stood still. He is currently the pawn of an outer god. That means the king. Zimikos' plan worked. But at what cost? Is Nifos human? Is he a demigod? Or is he something different altogether? Time would tick, but Nifos' mind couldn't stop. He had to rid the world of this evil king. He chose to become evil to slay evil. But to hear he will never die, even if he succeeds, it saddened him. I don't know if you guys understand what that meant. Just know that he was going to krill himself if he succeeded. Or should I say, I was going to krill myself if I succeeded. Because, you know, being evil is not what it makes out to be. Crazy, right? His body, now dripping with blood, began to heal on its own. He ripped the arrows from his body, out of his arms, next his legs, after that his stomach, and finally his eye socket. His body began to regenerate, as if moments ago he could have been mistaken for a giant bloody porcupine. He snickered. Then his snickering turned into a chuckle. Then his lowly chuckle morphed into a loud outburst, a hysterical laughter of a man who started losing his mind. A laugh so loud that it drowned the sounds of warfare playing in his ears. Lunacy was the conductor to a maddening piece. His outburst of laughter became the music that filled all souls with dread. Nithos laughed his way through pain as he healed every last wound like a mosquito bite. He was slashed by swords, bashed by mauls, which if you don't know what a maul is, it's basically just a big-ass club. That's basically the simple way of explaining it. Pierced by arrows, he was even frozen, set ablaze, and electrocuted. Nithos was an unstoppable madman. Finally, he arrived at the keep that held that bastard king that used him to summon the Veiled One. Revenge was almost within his grasp. The skeleton struck the door until it came tumbling down to the earth. Once it did, Nithos fell silent. He stormed the steps of Zimico's keep, his soldiers battling around him, but he ignored everything. He came to finish the mission, to finish the job. I turned your kingdom into a mass graveyard. The only one left is you to add to the sea of bone. You, the edge. The edge. Why am I so edgy? Nithos yelled out as he kept climbing the staircases instead of the staircase to the top. He knew Zimico could hear him, and that is what he wanted. Nithos reached the top of the stairs, throwing the doors open. Once he saw Zimico's face, he felt a multitude of emotions. Thuma, Alice, Rai, Nuclear, Razor, Rhaegar, Mark, Ty, Ophelia. Nithos started quietly and slowly grew louder. Sabi, Lilia, Lee, Varco, Vday, Thuriel, Arat, Ferry, Giles. Nithos began to shout, Oran, Poppy, Estos. These are the children you murdered to serve your goal. Zimico rubbed his long pointy ears and spoke calmly, almost sarcastically. Have you finished shouting? I could go deaf from all that loud noise. His eyes narrowed and a smug grin appeared on his face as he held his chin. I find it funny you say that. How many people did you kill today? How many people will find the remains of the people they cherish gone? You look at me like the bad guy, but face it, you are as bad as me. Nay, I would say worse. My goal is to better the lives of the living, while yours is to kill me. I am being evil for a selfless cause, while you are being evil because of your selfish emotions. How cute. Zimico mocked Nithos, even laughing at him in the process. But we will fight another day. I have no time for grown children. A bright light covered Zimico. Nithos clenched his teeth. Die, Zimico! He waved his hand down, and a massive hand of bone dropped down from the ceiling, crushing the light in its entirety. As the hand disappeared, Zimico was nowhere to be seen. Nithos screamed in a rage like no other, but the tiredness washed over him. He thought if he sat on the throne, that would mean he won. At least a little bit. He stumbled and crept to the throne of Zimico and took his spot. The throne, that means the world. The throne, the means to own the world. As he sat down, his eyelids grew heavy. He was so tired. His lips refused to lift to utter a single word. He commanded an army of over 1 million skeletons for 3 days straight. Took a toll on his body. After he closed his eyes, the world became silent. Sorry, this is the last chapter. Necromancer off planet. Faint screams could be heard behind the doors as Nifos slumbered. The thing that woke the planet's new king was an explosion that sealed the entrance to the throne room. Nifos's eyes open. Don't. Oh wait, no, never mind. I'm just so dyslexic. I thought it said Nifos' eyes opened, not Nifos opened his eyes. Do you know what? I'm sick of reading. Does anyone else want to read for me? Nifos opened his eyes slowly and saw 5 people standing before him. There were 2 males and 3 females sporting black jackets with white and red accents. It looked like no outfit Nifos has ever seen. Do you know? Shall I come over and read it? Read it, lol. You sound like you're struggling. Many head pats. I need head pats. But I normally struggle. I'm dyslexic as hell. It looked like hide armor, but more fashionable. Before he could get his words out to ask these intruders who these intruders were, shut up. It looked like hide armor, but more fashionable. Before he could get his words out to ask who these intruders were, the muscular male in the middle swiftly caught him off guard. He stood tall like an elf, but broad like an orc, yet looked human in appearance. His wavy shoulder-length brown hair with streaks of purple. Yeah, by the way, he's got a protagonist haircut. Because it seems like every important person who's shown up in the story has streaks of some color. Me, with blue with streaks of black. The veiled one with red with streaks of white. This guy, brown with streaks of purple. A welcoming smile, eyes that were a little sunken, but didn't hide the presence of his deep purple irises. The man took a strong step forwards and pointed at the once slumbering king. You will join my gang, the man declared. Nifos stared blankly in utter confusion. Why? What? First, who are you? Second, I am the planet's ruler. Why would I go anywhere with you? Nifos shook his head. It shook his confusion away. He wanted to get to the bottom of this. The man sighed. Sorry, I just love this whole moment because it's just such a meme moment. It's such a One Piece moment when Luffy just points at people and says, "You're coming with me," and everyone's just like, "Huh? Since when?" And then they end up coming with them. You want to get to the bottom of this? Found it. The man sighed. My apologies, Your Majesty. I never knew. So I didn't mean to disrespect you. I am Darsino from the Nightmare Syndicate. I am from Offworld. Nifos was confused. What is an Offworld? I love this part of the lore. I'm sorry, I love this. It's like, what is the Offworld? What is an Offworld? A type of people? A type of race? Darsino continued. My crew and I were looking for a habitable planet for the rest of us. Just to find that everywhere on this planet is filled with the living dead. It was like a real-life horror movie. Nifos had enough and took to his feet. He glared at Darsino. What is a horror movie? Better yet, Darsino, what do you mean this world is filled with the living dead? A mass graveyard doesn't cut it. This world is a planet-sized necropolis. Nifos walked to the window that was covered in moss and mold. Well, sorry, mold and moss. I definitely could read. What he saw in that moment is a moment he had to live with for as long as he lived. The only sounds that could be heard from the outside world was a low whistle of the wind and the crackling of the undead denizens that populated the once vibrant kingdom. He only fell asleep. How did this happen in 8 hours? His brain was a network of ideas and theories, but every thought led back to him. Nifos was responsible. He gritted his teeth and placed his face against the glass. By the way, said glass is covered in mold and moss. So it is kind of gross when you think about it. The veiled one leaned against the wall with a smirk. Oh dear king. You have been dozing in the land of dreams for 100 years. You are a villain. Remember that. Nifos called over to Darcino, with a hint of sadness in his voice. Fine, I will come with. But, just so you know, I caused this. Are you fine with a cold-hearted villain by your side? Darcino chuckled. We are all villains. Some worse than others. But it is what we do that define us. I am wanted in 8 different galaxies with a bounty of 1 million on my head. Think you and me are any different? Nifos was stunned, but smirked. You might be right. I have a goal now. A goal that I will do. Darcino didn't ask him what his goal was. And he never did. Many, many, many years passed. During that time, Nifos adopted a surname, Ghostella. A spirit upon the stars. Darcino called him it as he rose through the ranks. Since Stella could mean the stars above, or a rising star in showbiz. Darcino and his crew showed him movies, video games, cars, everything his world could never offer. Science. Darcino passed away as a hero to the Syndicate, and a bastard to those who are not. Upon his death, he left a letter revealing the next leader of the Nightmare Syndicate, Nifos Ghostella. With his rise to leadership, his reach extended further than ever. He drew a blueprint for the engineers and the scientists to prep the IS Ghostella, or the ISG. Nifos made it into a base, but also into a luxury hotel, which included a gym, a casino, and many bars, and much more. Loki sounds like advertisement. If you guys want to go to my luxury hotel and stuff, you're free to do it. You just need to pay the entrance fee, maybe get a membership card, and then you guys can use the gym, the sauna, the spa, the casino. Just make sure you have a lot of money. Where was I? Oh yeah. He used the luxury hotel to build a reputation across multiple galaxies, and to build wealth to build the Nightmare Syndicate further. With the space station, it became easier to conquer planets or to make alliances with those deemed suitable. He made his seat at the table of the universe's strongest and most dangerous outlaws, and became one of the 4 warlords. Nifos wasn't just a leader. Nifos was a conqueror. Coming to you now, the ISSG. Visit now for only $9.99. Okay. I think with that is it for the law. That's it for law reading.